Hi everyone, I hope this class finds you well. If you're doing this in the beginning of your week, maybe the middle of your week, or even on a weekend, I hope that it's been a great past few days. Today I'm going to be taking you through a stronger flow. We're just going to kind of roll with the class and see what comes up for us, and try not to expect or anticipate any of the postures, and just welcome anything that might be challenging, that may force us to try something new. So whenever you're ready, we're going to begin in Hero Pose. Unless that posture is too much for you on the tops of the feet or in the knees, you can go ahead and take an easy seat, rooting through the sit bones, crisscrossing the ankles and the shins. Otherwise, go ahead and join me here. We'll flip the palms, whether we're in easy seat or Hero Pose, face up. Backs of the hands resting either on the thighs or the knees. Finding some softness in the fingers. And then rather than coming into any pattern of breath or any particular yogic breath, we're just going to take one clarifying breath to begin our practice. So taking a full inhale, pausing for a moment, and taking a long exhale. Maybe beginning to flutter the eyes closed. And bringing some awareness to the first posture of your practice. Feeling ourselves grounding into the mat and the earth. Letting go of any tension or tightness in muscles and parts of the body that we aren't using for the posture. Letting go of the face, maybe the belly, softening the shoulders down the back. And then as you find your natural breath here, maybe just slowly and gently starting to rise even more through the crown of the head. Feeling some space between each of the vertebrae. Feeling an energetic lift from the tailbone, through the lumbar, the thoracic, and the cervical spine, all the way up through the neck and the head. Taking a moment to acknowledge whichever point in your week or weekend you're at, and maybe considering why you chose to practice today. Finding the intention behind your choices. If you're comfortable in Hero Pose, go ahead and continue to move through our practice here, or you can start to unravel the legs and find an easy seat. Leaving the eyes closed, we'll inhale. Sweep the arms up and overhead, fingertips towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Inhale again, reach. Exhale, hands to the heart. This time we'll inhale, start to squeeze the shoulder blades together, take the arms to a T shape, and maybe even start to draw the fingertips behind the body. If you need to open your eyes here for a visual, go ahead. As we exhale, we'll draw the shoulder blades apart, bring the palms together, hands are in front of the body. Again, inhale to expand. Exhale, we'll close. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Good. Release the backs of the hands to the thighs once more. Now we'll take some rotations in the shoulders. Inhale as you lift the shoulders to the ears. And then exhale as you start to roll the shoulders forward and down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, find that semicircle forward and down. This time we'll go in reverse. Inhale, shoulders to the ears. Exhale, semicircle towards the back and down. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, rotate back and down. From here we can start to flutter the eyes open if you haven't already. And then reach the right hand or fingertips down to the mat. Scoop the left arm up and overhead. If you want a little more space in the left side body stretch, maybe see if you can come to elbow and forearm. Reaching the left arm over left ear. And then gently squeezing the core, lifting up and over. We'll take it to the other side. Good, we'll do one more of each. Inhale, rise, right hand comes down. And last time over to the left. Good, either from easy seat or from hero pose. I'm going to turn sideways so that I can use the length of my mat. We're going to start to crawl the hands forward, making our way to Balasana or Child's Pose. We'll find a seal between the legs here. Release the face. Stretch from the shoulders to the fingertips. Nice big inhale. Big exhale. Take the gaze towards the hands. Release the elbows and forearms. We'll hover forward and then come all the way down onto the belly and the hips, uncurling the toes, landing in Sphinx Pose. Elbows are under the shoulders, palms are planted. Taking a moment here in our first back bend, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, gaze lifts. And before we come to our next posture, we'll draw the chin towards the chest, find a stretch in the back of the neck. Inhale as you lift the gaze, neutralizing the spine. We'll start to curl the toes under, and we're going to make our way to low plank or forearm plank. So keeping the elbows at shoulder distance, big breath in, lift the hips, tuck the tailbone, belly button aimed up towards the ribs, protracting at the shoulders, so we're pressing into the elbows and forearms, lifting the chest farther from the mat, and starting to fire up the entire body here. Toes are curled. One more inhale, one more exhale. Start to release the hips as well as the belly. Uncurl the toes as we take them to the bottom corners of the mat, palms to the top corners. Pressing into the hands, we'll lengthen through the arms for seal pose. Gaze comes over the right shoulder and then the left. Back to center. Slide the feet together. Come back to elbows and forearms. Walk the hands in for Sphinx Pose. On your next round of breath, we'll curl the toes. Inhale as you lift the belly, lift the hips. Plank pose. From here, we're going to come to a low side plank. Press into the left palm. Shift onto the right elbow and forearm, stacking the left hip on top of right. Left fingertips reach overhead. Keeping the hips high here. One more inhale. As you exhale, see if you can stay lifted, come through center, and then over to the left forearm. Right hip stacks on top of left. Reach the right fingertips overhead. Left hip comes up a little bit higher. One more inhale. As you exhale, release the right forearm. Shift through center. Release the hips, uncurl the toes. Seal pose. 2 rounds of breath here. Slowly start to bend at the elbows, slide the feet together, tap the forehead on the mat, palms land under the shoulders, curl the toes. Inhale from here, we'll find high plank. Seeing if we can keep that same form that we had in our low plank, just with the arms extended. So lifting the upper back towards the ceiling more, the chest pulls away from the mat, pressing into the space between thumb and index finger. Pelvis and belly button aimed up towards the ribs. One more big breath in. As you breathe out, start to send the hips up and back, draw the heels towards the mat. First downward facing dog. It's okay if the heels are lifted here. If there's a micro bend at the knees, no big deal. Keep lifting through the hips, working on drawing the belly towards the thighs. And then since it's our first down dog, we'll bring a little bit of movement here. So very slowly, we'll start to lift the right heel, bending at our knee. Still lifting through the hips, pressing into the palms. See if you can draw the left heel down towards the mat. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. Left heel lifts. We'll go ahead and switch. And switch for 4. Switch for 5. We're going to 10. Switch for 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. From here, come back to your downward facing dog. Take the gaze towards the hands, come high onto the toes, bend both knees, and we'll walk the feet forward. Inhale from here to halfway lift, either coming onto fingertips or bringing hands to shins. Exhale to fold. Soft bend at the knees, press into the heels, roll yourself all the way up to stand. Inhale as the palms touch overhead. Lengthen from the heels to the tips of your fingers. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more time. Inhale, palms together overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Start to hinge at the hips, fold forward. We'll press into each of the palms, step the feet back for high plank. From here, we'll take our first Vinyasa, bending at the elbows. We'll lower all the way down our first time, uncurl the toes. Inhale as you gently press into the palms, lifting for Cobra Pose. So in Cobra, we're really light on the fingertips here. We're engaging mostly into the lower back. Bringing the shoulders away from the ears, elbows are tucked in tight to the ribs. Engaging the glutes. Maybe even seeing if you can lift all 10 fingers. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, lower and tap the forehead. Curl the toes. Press into the hands. We'll lift the knees, the thighs and hips first. And then inhale, see if you can find high plank. Always an option here to move through tabletop or to lower the knees down. From here, lift through the hips, draw the heels towards the mat. Downward facing dog. Nice big inhale for length. Exhale, see if you can release the heels. Still okay to welcome a bend at the knees. Take one more round of breath. Come high onto the toes. Generous bend at the knees. Gaze comes to the hands. Walk your way to the top of your mat. Inhale for flat back. Exhale to fold. Bend at the knees. Press into the heels. Roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale for Urdhva Hastasana. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Again, inhale, palms touch. Exhale, hands to the heart. Hinge at the hips and fold forward. Making our way to high plank from here. Step the feet back. Core is engaged. Pressing the chest away from the mat. We'll lower down. Elbows come to the side bodies. Maybe finding chaturanga this time for a halfway lower. And then as you inhale, keep the thighs lifted off of the mat. Shoulders away from the ears. Whether you're in cobra or upward facing dog, taking one more round of breath. And then as you exhale, start to lift at your hips. Draw the heels towards the mat, downward facing dog. Right heel stays where it is this time. We'll inhale, lift the left. Start to stack the left hip on top of right, bending at your left knee, half wild thing. And then draw the left knee towards the chest, hovering forward and pausing here. Rounding at the shoulders, pressing further away from the mat. Go ahead, flex the left foot, and we'll step between the hands for runner's lunge. From here, pivot the back foot 45 degrees. Coming into warrior one as we inhale, lengthen through the fingertips. Release the right hand to the right leg. See if you can find a slight back bend. As you come back through center, the right hand meets left. And we'll exhale for humble warrior. Heart and chest lower towards the left thigh. Maybe clasping the hands behind the back. And seeing if you can release the heart and chest to the inside of the left knee and left thigh. Good. From here, start to release the hands. And now we'll windmill the arms up and over, coming to warrior two. Back toes pivot to the long side of our mats. Sink a little bit deeper into the lead leg. Flip the left palm. Reach forward with the upper body. Big breath in. As you exhale, reverse your warrior. From here, we'll make our way back to warrior two. And then frame the left foot. Pivot the right toes. It's okay to take some steps here. Otherwise, see if you can challenge yourselves to stay balanced on that left foot. We're going to power through the left leg, bending our right knee, and then coming all the way to stand. Fingertips reach towards the ceiling, right knee's bent. See if we can hold for a few more breaths. On your next exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And then as we send the right leg back, we'll make our way to warrior three, reaching the fingertips back as well. It's okay if you're a little bit wobbly here, I am as well. Maybe grabbing some blocks to place under the hands if you have them nearby. Always okay to tap the right toes down or to release the hands to the ground. One more big breath in. As you breathe out, gently bend at the left knee, release the right toes, inhale for crescent lunge. Exhale to frame the left foot. From here, coming to a right side plank. So we'll press into the right palm, left leg stacks on top of right, left fingertips reach overhead. For a modified version of our side plank, you can bend this right knee and lower down to the ground. Otherwise, hanging out here for just one more breath. Maybe see if you can lift that left leg. And we'll gently release. Left palm comes to the mat, finding high plank. Nice big inhale. As you exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale for down dog. We'll take 2 rounds of breath here. On that last exhale, root through your left foot. Inhale as you lift the right. Begin to stack the hips, half wild thing. Seeing if you can keep the lips sealed for the remainder of practice, channeling your Ujjayi breath. Start to draw the knee towards the heart and chest. We'll hover here, rounding at the upper back. Go ahead and flex the right foot. Step forward for runner's lunge. Pivot the back toes. Inhale. Warrior one. Lengthen through the fingertips. Deepen the lunge. Left hand to left leg. Finding a little bit of a back bend. And inhale as you come back through center. We'll start to release the heart and chest. Clasp the hands behind the back for humble warrior. Seeing if you can release the heart and chest even more to the inside of the right thigh. And then from here, making our way to warrior two, nice and slow, release the hands, windmill the arms. Pivot the back toes all the way to the left long side of the mat. Taking a breath here. Releasing any tension in the face. Gaze comes to the right fingertips. We'll flip our palm. Reach forward with just the upper body. Inhale, and as you exhale, reverse your warrior. From here, engage the core. We'll come back to warrior two. And then releasing the hands all the way to the mat, pivot the back toes. Coming through that strong move, now we're powering through on the right leg. See if you can keep your balance. If not, it's okay. You can take a few hops with the left foot. Otherwise, see if you can bend the left knee, hop forward. Inhale to lift. Left knee stays bent, fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Taking a moment to come back to the intention of your practice, why you arrived on your mat today. From here, making our way to warrior three. Hands will come to heart center. Start to send the left foot back. As the heart and chest lower, maybe reaching fingertips back as well. One side may be a little bit more stable or strong than the other. That's normal. If you're sweaty, if you're wobbling, if you're shaking, so am I. Good. From here, gently bend into the right knee. Start to release the left toes. Inhale as you sweep the arms up overhead for Crescent Lunge. Take a moment to catch your breath, find some control. And then exhale as you frame the right foot, making our way this time to our left side plank. Right fingertips reach to the ceiling, right leg stacked on top of left. Only here for 2 rounds of breath. Maybe see if you can lift that right leg. Gently releasing the right hand to meet left, coming to high plank. Nice big inhale. As you exhale, taking your vinyasa. Always an option to take a softer version, maybe releasing the knees, or lowering all the way, or maybe powering through. Taking your chaturanga. Inhale for up dog. Exhale, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Let go of the head and the neck. Take one more big breath in. As you breathe out, release the knees. Uncurl the toes. Take the forehead to the mat. And then reach the arms around the outsides of the thighs. Fingertips are towards the back of our mats. Closing the eyes once more. In those moments when we feel like we want to quit or the postures get really difficult, the breathing gets challenging, or our thoughts are wandering, maybe finding it in ourselves or noticing that today we found it in ourselves to power through and to keep trying. Even if we fall out of a posture, even if we wiggle, knowing that we have to keep moving forward. Take one more round of breath here. And slowly start to slide the palms under the shoulders. And then as you inhale, lift yourself back to hero pose. We'll only be here for a few moments, but again, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can take easy seat. We'll start to reach the fingertips behind the toes, opening the heart and chest. Finding a nice big back bend, gaze comes to the ceiling, or maybe release the head and neck. And we'll slowly engage the core as we come back to a neutral spine. From here, we'll take the palms in front of the knees, making our way to tabletop. We'll take a few rounds of cat-cows. I've really been liking having the knees just a little bit farther back than the hips. Not much, but just enough so I'm leaning more into the shoulders and the arms. So it's totally a preference for your body and what works for you. We'll take an inhale, lower the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale to round the spine, tuck the tailbone, gaze comes between the thumbs. Inhale again for cow. Exhale to round. From here, we're going to come to standing knees, so we'll neutralize the spine. Walk the hands closer to the legs, and then come all the way up onto the knees. Making sure the knees are about hip distance apart. And then taking a full breath in, we'll reach fingertips overhead. As you exhale from here, we'll take half camel. So the left fingertips will stay towards the ceiling. Right hand can come to the lower back. Maybe working on reaching towards the right foot or the right heel. Or if you can and you have this space, bringing your right hand all the way down to the ankle or right heel. Bumping the hips forward. Taking one more round of breath. We're going to switch sides, but we'll come through neutral first. So when you're ready, squeeze the belly. Bring the right hand to the lower back, maybe the left as well. Come up through center. And then we'll find a big breath in as the fingertips come back to the ceiling. Exhale. Half camel to the left. You can also practice camel pose or half camel with blocks. So again, if you have them nearby and that's a preference for you, you can place the block on the inside or outside of whichever foot you're reaching towards. Again, depends on preference and where you like to reach with the shoulder and the arm. One more round of breath here. Engage the core. Lengthen through the spine. Big breath in. As you breathe out, come back to hero pose. We'll press into our palms. Curl the toes under and then make our way to a forward fold. Coming to the backs of our mats. Inhale for flat back. Exhale, release. Walk the hands forward until you find yourself in high plank. Taking a nice big round of breath. As you exhale, keep the toes curled. Broaden at the shoulders. Release the hips towards the mat, but we'll keep hovering for upward facing dog. Exhale as you slowly lift through the hips. Draw the heels to the mat. Our last down dog. Gaze comes to the hands. This time you can choose how you'd like to make your way to the front of your mat, maybe by walking, stepping, jumping, or if you'd like, even floating through handstand. Meeting in a forward fold. We'll slowly start to bend at the knees, releasing the hips, coming to a deep squat. And then either by using the hands or maybe trying to sit without using, we'll lower the sit bones, wrap the arms around the legs, give ourselves a tight squeeze. And then send the heels to the top of our mats, lowering all the way down. Not getting too comfortable just yet. We'll release the arms, opening the palms towards the ceiling, and then bend at the knees, slide the heels towards the hips, and just find some windshield wiper movements with the legs. Finding stillness back at center. Draw the knees into the chest or the belly. Again, wrapping the arms around the legs for a tight squeeze. And taking our second to last posture of our practice, coming into Happy Baby. A couple of options for you here. You can either take the hands to the outsides or the pinky sides of the feet, drawing the knees into the armpits, and also bring the arms to the insides of the legs, and then wrap the wrists around the ankles, also grabbing onto the pinky sides of the feet. Or the last option here in Happy Baby, which I've also been enjoying a lot lately, is to grab onto opposite elbows behind the knees and let the legs be a little more heavy. Coming back to a grounding posture. Maybe taking a moment to be an observer of our own thoughts and our own practice. Considering what went well, maybe what didn't, what felt good and what did not. And knowing that both are okay, the good and the bad, the things that worked out and the things that did not. Taking one more round of breath in Happy Baby, or your variation of. And slowly making our way to our final posture of our practice. Surrendering the legs and the arms into the mat. The back of the head. Starting to close the eyes. Again, taking one final breath together to seal our practice and to end our practice the same way we began. This time we'll take a full breath into the nose, pause at the top, and then as we exhale, we'll open the mouth to release. Staying here in Shavasana for as long as you'd like, and knowing that you can always pause the video to take a little more time or just let the video end. If you enjoyed this practice, please feel free to subscribe, leave any comments, any questions. I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.